Alright, I enabled my own mic for the stream. I will enable yours as well now. Can you say something?
What do you say? I should be
Oh,
saying
just yeah,
something?
just I'm checking the
Yeah,
audio right
yeah.
now.
Checking the audio.
It should be
Okay,
good. I think it's good.
should be good.
I'm
All right.
gonna wait. Let's try this. Like a MAME open. Uh, I'll just I mean the stage order is gonna be wrong, but just try to say something right now.
All right. Hello.
Can
Saying
anybody tell
something,
me if the? I mean, it seems like the plasma is a lot louder than the game, which is what I kind of wanted. Is that good for everybody? I can read chat now. I won't be reading chat when the game starts, so I'd like to get this out of the way, if that makes sense. But I think it looks good on my end.
Are you streaming on Discord somewhere? Or?
Not yet. I'm just checking the audio.
But
Okay,
that's the
we
plan.
can hear you
Okay.
fine. Says Brickling. I need to. Well, but to reset the stage, I need to close the game and reopen it, so the Discord screen share will fail. So I'll do it when I reset. Which I guess I can reset right now. We can just start. Sounds good.
All right.
I'll go on mute.
I'm just going to watch it on Twitch now.
I'll enable the Discord screen share. I know how to do it. Alright. See you guys in a bit.
Already, so I should be talking, I guess. I'm happy to see the target scores on screen, so we have a bit of hints on where we're aiming at. So this is Strikers 1945 Part 2. It's a pretty popular game, maybe one of the famous, if not the famous, number one Psycho game. It's very well liked by many people, including myself. So I'm honored to give some commentary here. But really, not too much commentary is needed, in my opinion, because the game is quite simple, which can be also one of its strong points. So it's very heavily focusing on fixed patterns. There's some RNG to it, but most of it is static, especially as Loop 1 is concerned. We will talk about Loop 2 later. So you can just feel great dodging all these crazy patterns because you know exactly what is happening. And most of the points, because this is a scoring oriented run, most of the points are coming just from enemy destruction on the one hand and the medals on the other. And medals we will start to see in the second stage. First one here, the air stage, does not have any. The first four stages in typical Psycho fashion are randomly selected, but of course using MAME and also using the PCB, there are some tricks to manipulate the stage order. And if you really want to push scoring to the next limit, then there are like certain orders, stages you want to preferably get each time. So to make it more consistent and also to like some smaller things. For example, stage 1, he was able to farm some power-ups here and there, and it's easiest to do. I think it's when it's in the air stage in 1-1. So as for the medals, I think most are probably aware of the system. It's kind of a weird system, to be honest. So the medals, they are changing a little bit. The sprite is changing. And when it's glowing white, there's a white shine, and it will be active for just a couple of frames. I think it's like 7 frames or something, 8 frames, I forget each time. And if you pick it up then, you get 2k, and you do get fewer points when you do not pick it up in this exact moment. But due to the rhythm and the changing happen like in the same way each time, it is easy to anticipate when you're able to grab it. But still, obviously, top players want to go for the 2K medals with every single medal, and then it's going to be very difficult because you have to be very, very precise. What is interesting about this game is also the gauge you see at the bottom of the screen on the left. It fills up when you kill enemies. I think also when you just shoot them, when you hit them with your shot, that's enough, I think. And it gradually fills up, and then you can activate like these small options, and you can place them, as you can see here on the boss. And they do a little bit of extra damage. So there's a routing element to it that also makes you think about where to place the options. And that's, to be honest, one of the most interesting things for me, at least. The more gauge you have, the stronger the option attack is. So when you just do a level 1 option, you get just a single one on screen, and then you can get a double, and you can get a quadruple, I think, when you have the gauge at max. And that's not really needed for this ship, but for other ships this becomes more important as well. Yeah, talking about scoring, one more trick we will maybe see in this stage comes up at the end of the boss fight, and we will see how this goes. But I'm not sure if Meriscan's going for it. He definitely went for it in his PB as well, but I think there was a little bit of a break, and he wasn't like actively playing the game the whole time. So for the live setting, we are going to see a bit more survival strats here and there. Not many. The score will still be quite high. Looking at the target score of 3 million, that's a very respectable score. But I think his PB is 3-2, 3-3, something crazy. And yeah, if you want to reach those scores, you have to go for the suicide respawn. But we'll see. It's not too difficult, or so he told me, on the desert boss we see here. I've never done it myself, so maybe he was just being humble. But maybe it is consistent. At least that's what he told me. We'll see in a bit. I am on a little bit of lag watching on Twitch now, so you will see the trick before I see it. Oh yeah, one more important thing is, of course, not bombing and not losing a life, ever, because there is a end bonus. After the second loop, you do get rewarded with a couple of points. Not too many, it's not like a crazy end bonus, but it's important at one point. I mean, at one point, like, everything becomes important just looking at the level of optimization you're setting for yourself. But there's also a 10k bonus for every surplus bomb. Oh yeah, and you went for the suicide trick. Just saw it on my end. You already have seen it. So that one works as follows. You basically you do try to get yourself killed as much after the boss fight is already ended. So the boss is exploding already, and maybe there's like a single final bullet lingering on screen. And if you hit it late enough, you do lose a life, but just visually. So you get the death animation and everything, but looking at his lives, you can still see he has the 2x stance. So the game will actually not subtract any of your lives. And why you do this is because when you die, some items will come out of your ship for the respawn. So you can pick up the power-up items and the bomb items, and do get the surplus points rewarded. So you get 10k for every bomb and 4k for every power-up. And that's, of course, going to be subtracted by the boss kill, which you do not get, because usually the boss has to self-destruct in order to do the trick. So if the boss is 10k, you have to get at least a bomb and then something else in order to make it a worthwhile trick. And the huge pain is that the items, when they pop out of your death animation, they are randomly moving on the screen. So it can be quite annoying to get like the perfect points from these suicide tricks. But we're only going to see it once. I think he's not going for any of the other ones. The top scores are going for, how many times was it? Like 4 times? So you can do it in the second loop as well. but Meriscan only does it on the desert boss. So 1-4 boss, if it's this stage, it's quite a tricky one. You really have to know what you're doing already. Sometimes stage 4, the last of the randomly selected stages, can be more difficult than the ones thereafter. That's like very typical for not all, but many other Psycho games. So sometimes 1-5, 1-6, you have an easier time. 1-3, 1-4 can be quite tricky. But maybe that's also because when you're playing just the stage is fully randomized, you're just not very used to see a particular stage in as the fourth one, for example. So maybe it's just a matter of consistency or not anticipating everything. You would always expect like 1-5. 1-5 is always the same. So maybe it's this as well. 1-5 in this game, I would say, is definitely easier than 1-4. No matter what stage 1-4 is, always going to be more difficult, in my opinion, anyway. So you start by killing the big tank. At least I just saw it. It can be quite tricky if you leave it on screen. It can be very dangerous. But the rest of the stage is pretty straightforward. You can point blank some of the turrets. They will not shoot any bullets there, but Meriscan is not going for that trick. You don't have to. I mean, maybe in Loop 2 it becomes more relevant. But Loop 1 is kind of laid back. I would also say it's definitely a good game for beginners. You can have great fun just playing the first loop. Of course, second loop is a whole different story. But just going for the one loop clear in this Strikers game, that's not too bad. It's a good entry point for people who want to look more into shmups, more into Psycho. And it's just a very enjoyable game in general. The music's kind of forgettable, to be honest. But I just like the dynamics and how the game evolves. It's pretty good. The boss design is also really cool. You can do some milking here at the wall before you see the actual stage 5 boss. Some more fixed patterns, and you see some small Zeko enemies, so these small planes appearing during the boss fights. Not during all boss fights, but during most of them. And they will be the main obstacle in the loop, because they add a very high degree of RNG to the game. But you don't have to worry about all of that in Loop 1. For stage 6 opening, there are a couple of like these turret batteries. They have a lot of HP, but you can take them out quickly before they even shoot, and Meriscan did a great job at this. So you can just place your little helpers in front of it and then point blank it a bit, and they will be no issue. But if you do let them alive, they actually become really difficult to dodge. Like there's a huge spread they are shooting at you. You can milk some enemies here. Destroy these planes to make further ones spawn quicker. I forgot how many you can do here, but I think that was ideal what we just saw. So tricks like that you have some other places as well. Sometimes they're difficult to spot if you're just watching someone very good at the game. You don't know how the game feels like when you play it yourself. So like all the extra waves, all the enemies, all the bullets you do not see here, like with the turret batteries. The game plays a little bit differently then. Of course, harder. And that's the beauty of watching a good player playing their favorite game. It just looks so easy. And when a game just looks too easy, you know the player is really good. And the game is not actually very easy. In terms of difficulty, if you include Loop 2, I would say this ranges among the hardest Psycho games. Probably harder than Gunbird 2. Probably not as hard as Sengoku Blade, but pretty damn tough, definitely. So for this boss we do have a couple of safe spots, but Meriscan is not using those. So there's some tricky dodges here and there. And keep in mind that Psycho hitboxes are definitely larger than your average cave hitbox. So it's not like the whole ship sprite, definitely not, but it's not just 4 pixels or something like that. Don't actually know how the dimensions are exactly, but it's a bigger one. It also is different for all the ships. So I think Pancake, Flying Pancake, the blue one, probably has the smallest hitbox, I think. And this one's kind of in the middle. So this tank again, the mid-sized tank here, the small one, you can point blank and then just take it out as soon as possible. If you do not, again, this will be very scary. And this looks quite good. Some good metal pickups as well. Lots of 2Ks, flashing 2Ks I see here. For the mid-boss in stage 7, you can get 2 different ones, and it's completely dependent on RNG. So in some Psycho games, you can actually, manipulate the randomness a little bit and get always the desired mid-boss. But in this game, it's just down to RNG. I'm not sure just how relevant this is for scoring. I think there's a little bit of a difference between the two, but not too much. And if you get unlucky in loop 1, you can still pray to get the right one in loop 2. Good luck with that. For survival, it doesn't really matter, because both are kinda tame. In loop 1 anyway. This pre-boss, or maybe this is already like some form of the final boss. Not too difficult as well. Lots of fixed patterns. Very Shrek strategy here Meriscan is doing. Some more Zakkos before the boss, and then we see a robot building up. And that's probably one of the easiest bosses in the game. Like, it's very fixed. Even in the loop, you do not have any small planes entering the screen. It's always the same. It's pretty difficult to die on, if you know what you're doing anyway. Just very fixed, nothing too crazy. Safe. Entering the final stage here. Final stage is a bit of a short one, and it's all about those orange disc enemies, or brown disc enemies. They can be very scary again, so you can see Meriscan here using his options to take them out as quickly as possible. And that's really the main thing you will see about on this run going on. Here you can leave some turrets alive and then get the medals at the right time. Gives you some more time to pick them up. Usually it's a bit hectic. And the mid-boss itself is very, very static again. Impossible to die on. I mean, just move around. You cannot really die here. Get some points from the power-ups. And one more tricky section with 2 of those disc enemies. But as you can see, again, they're taken out as quickly as possible and onto the last boss. Last boss has some patterns you have to react to. Most of it is fixed anyway, but sometimes you have to dodge it, this boss. But I think for more seasoned players, this should not be an issue. So all in all, the game is incredibly consistent. Most Psycho games are. So probably a good game to show off at the marathon. Even in a live setting, I mean, obviously you have to deal with the nerfs you have and all the shit that can happen, but the game itself is pretty static. Again, only talking about loop 1 here. So I'm not expecting Meriscan to be sweating at this point. And he has a lot of experience with this game. He's been playing it for quite a while now. Probably a couple of years by now. At least he's beaten the Western record quite a while ago already, and then continued to push himself further and further. Not sure if he's done with the game, but at one point at least he told me he wanted to explore the Flying Pancake as well, so different ship. Which would be really cool. Well, the loop, as you can see here, everything, well, not everything, but almost everything is shooting suicide bullets at you. Some ships are not, but most of them are. And smaller ones can be very dangerous. They shoot either a single or double suicide bullet at you. Some are predetermined. Others can vary more. And all the mid-sized planes, they shoot these bigger bullets at you. I think they are probably easier to dodge because it's always like a four-way of these fat bullets. So it's easier to dodge than the single or twin bullets when they are randomly aimed at you. The four-way is always directly aimed. So it becomes easier to route. The bosses, they just look crazy. Here we have a bomb. Like all the loop bosses, especially the first 4 stages, are very, very tough. So I'm pretty sure we are going to see a couple more bombs. So first, concerning the bosses, you do have a couple of fixed patterns. They're just crazy fast, sometimes really difficult to dodge, mixed in with like a little bit of randomness. And then you have the small planes appearing during the boss fights, and they will just mix everything up. So if you expect yourself to sit in one safe spot and just camp there, the small planes can just disagree and shoot shit at you, and you're not staying in the safe spot for too long. So you have to have plan Bs, sometimes plan Cs ready at your disposal. And yeah, that spices things up. Makes it really interesting. And very challenging as well. As I've said, like the loop is really tricky. You do get a lot of resources though. You get 1 extra life at 600k, so he's gotten that long ago. There's no secret extent whatsoever, so 3 lives is all you have. But then you can carry up to 9 bombs, and that is a lot. You do need them, but it's still a lot. And nothing's more painful than dying with a bomb stock of 9 bombs. I mean, we could probably all agree on this. It's even bad when you just die with 3 bombs in other games and 4 bombs, but dying with 9 bombs, there's few feelings that are worse than this. So only in this game. Well, I'm sure other Psycho games have it as well, but most of the Psycho games, especially the earlier ones, they had a smaller bomb stock. Like 6 or something. But they steadily increased that number. You just go for 0 gunner 2, you have no bombs at all. Then a death isn't that painful, I guess. Weird way to think about it, but yeah. 2-3. Desert stage is probably, at least the stage itself, a little bit on the easier side when it comes to the loop stages, but then the boss is completely crazy. Like, we are definitely going to see 1, 2, maybe 3 bombs. Let's see how it goes. One thing that also becomes significantly more difficult is the meddling. So picking up medals at 2k with all the stuff going on and all the randomness now in loop 2 is way more difficult. So sometimes you have to think about when to uncover medals in order to anticipate when they are flashing up. So you want to pick them up just at the right time when maybe there are not so many enemies on screen. So maybe a little bit similar to Raiden DX, which is more complex in this regard. But you do have the basics of this kind of routing in Strikers as well. So the boss. As you can see here, crazy first phase already, lots of randomness, and there's a death. That hurt. Was he on max bombs? So he can now enjoy that feeling we were talking about earlier. That sucks. You do get a couple of bombs back. The more bombs you hold in stock, the more bombs you do get after respawn. So when you die with a lot of bombs, you do get 2 back, I think, after dying. So he's back at 4 bombs. He's a bit low on power, which is not too much of an issue. It can be a little bit scarier, but just picking up 2 more, or in this case only 1 more now, power-up item, he will be back on max. So that's worse in other games for sure. This stage, probably the hardest stage in the loop. because of a very famous, infamous section, the turrets. You can see here. It's a pretty crazy part. It is theoretically possible to no-miss, no-bomb it, but most players will just use 1-2 bombs. Meriscan had lower rank due to the death, so he didn't no-miss, no-bomb there, which is crazy. But on no-miss rank, this looks even worse, and it already looked pretty damn scary. It's also interesting to look at the turret section with the other ships, because like all the ships have very different approaches there. And also there are many different individual approaches, so every player has somehow come up with his own idea on how to tackle it. It's one of the most interesting and most difficult sections of the game. There's another death. Ouch. Well, this is not looking like incredibly bad at this point, because the hardest stages are 2-1 to 2-4, and he's still got 1 in reserve. The rest of the game I will not call easy, because it's not, but maybe this is still enough resources to clear. Also, the 2 deaths are not too bad for score. I said there's an end bonus, but it's not too big, so you can still get the 3 million he's aiming for. Definitely still on pace. 1 life should be enough, hopefully, but it's tough. The tricky thing is that when you're lower on resources, even though it's still possible, your nerves are the main issue then. Because when you realize I only got 1 more life and 4 more stages to go, like this is a tough thing, tough situation to be in. And I think nerfs only really go down when you have a lot of experience with the game and experience with live demos, both of which Meriscan has plenty of, so I'm confident. But it's not free. Again, you can do a little bit of milking here at the wall before the boss. Theoretically, you can get the same points from it as you got in the first loop. Just a little bit more randomness added to it due to the small planes. But should be possible to get about the same score here. In order to maximize your points, you have to kill the turrets that are appearing at the top of the screen as quickly as possible, so the next one respawns quicker. The boss again, definitely easier than 2-4 and 2-3. Well, basically like 2-1 to 2-4 are all harder than the 2-5 boss. These batteries, again, they will not fire, because if they will, it will be 1 life minus. And again, here we can see some more planes milked and speed killed in order to get a couple more. Everything here is fixed. The suicide bullets at this point are not a threat. At least not a great threat. And pretty much the same for the upcoming turret wall. There's not much randomness to that. Like none at all. It's just some simple misdirecting of the very deadly spread. So if it ever catches you, I don't think there's a reasonable way to dodge it. But you can easily manipulate the aim. The boss can be milked a little bit, but we are not going to see that, I think. What you can do is you can fly continuously into the boss and you lose the power-up, so that more power-up carriers will appear, and you can milk those points. It's kind of silly to do. You're basically on low power the whole time. But yeah, we're not going to see that. It doesn't give a crazy amount of points anyway. And that's also one thing I really like about the game. There are like many smaller bits to score and not like a huge thing. So if you don't do one little scoring opportunity, you can just go for the next and the one after. I forgot to look at the target splits. Did we reach 2-1 million after 2-1? After 2-4? I forgot. But we should be good still to get 3 million, I think. 2-7 can be tricky. Again, the mid boss is random. We got the same as in loop 1. This is the easier one, I think. You can anticipate the spreads when you look at the boss at the very top. Sometimes both of the shoulder pads are blinking simultaneously, and then it's only one spread. And when one is blinking first and then another one right after, you get two spreads. So it's either tap or it's tap tap. Simple as that. But if you don't know if it's one or two taps, it can be tricky sometimes. The metal section right after the mid boss is probably the hardest section to metal correctly, like getting all the top value metals. You did a really good job at this. And this is definitely looking promising. Oh, and thanks for the message in chat. I'm just reading it. 2.09 after 2.4, so should be good, I think. Again, 7th boss, even in the loop, is very, very static. We're gonna see a speed kill here, placing all the options he has on the boss directly on it. So it will go down rather conveniently. Before one attack that's actually more difficult. Like after the one he's seen as the final attack here, afterwards there would be one more shooting missiles, and that can be a little bit tricky. But even this one's kind of fixed. I think even fully fixed, but it looks scary. Final stage. The same nuisance we saw in loop 1 is just got worse. The disc enemies. Shooting a pretty annoying suicide spread as well. But due to the fact that not many other enemies are on screen, you can focus purely on the disc enemies. But you have to have a solid route ready for them. Mid-boss, again, shouldn't be an issue for any player, even in the loop. And I know that Meriscan also has absolutely no problem. No miss, no bombing the final boss each and every time. And I'm totally not jinxing it, because I have faith. 2.78. I can't do math, so I cannot tell you if we're going to hit the 3 million. Seven bombs left, one life left. I think, what is it? Is it like 20k per life, 30k per life, and 10k per bomb? I could look it up, but something like that. And then you also get rewarded for your power level. So you get 5k per power level. Like not the gauge, but the shot power you have. So it should be good. The boss kill itself also gives some good points, and yeah, this is pretty safe now. And see, I didn't jinx it. Dude's a hero. Look at these reflexes. Bam! 3 million. Excellent job. GG. 3.09. thing is really the consistency. I mean, I said before that the game is static and you can expect the same patterns all the time, but still, it requires some very, very high consistency in order to pull a run like this off in a live setting. And it's not the first time he's done it. So he's really consistent, even dealing with all the suicide spam in Loop 2. And this is very impressive. Shows just how much experience the player has. Oh yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, they should hear me now as well. But yeah, that honestly, that was way better than I expected, even still.
Oh, nice.
Because,
Yeah, that was really clean, to be honest.
I-
I mean, you had to take 2 deaths, but it was clean.
I mean, those were the two hardest parts in the game for me,
Right.
like the 2-3 boss and the 2-4 boss. So, although the 2-4 boss that was a bit silly, but I mean, it's kind of expected in some ways.
So you're still pushing the game for score further, or is
I mean, after
the-
this, I want to play Air Gallet first, but I do want to. I said I've been kind of postponing learning flying. What is his name? Flying Pancake.
yeah,
Because well, the reason I want to try learning that character is because he's significantly more consistent in the second loop, and I've seen some of the respawn glitch setups, and they look like 12 million times easier with Pancake, because with Hayate you don't really have damage control. If you shoot, it shoots an option that will kill the boss, right? Or it will keep damaging it. With Pancake you can much more just shoot, kill everything on screen, then not do anything. It's just a lot easier to set up.
yeah, I can see that. Nice. But first, you say it's Air Gallet time.
Yeah. Oh, well, first we're gonna do the very hard one. I hope I have the dipset settings correct, but we get that up.
Are we going for the extra hard settings and then for a normal run as well, or just the extra hard settings?
I haven't played the default version in a couple of months now, so.
Oh, no.
Well, actually, I did watch like what was it? I watched a replay of it again. I was shocked at how slow the bullets are in the default version. Like I felt so dumb. Like how did I ever die to this boss? But
Sounds like good practice.
I guess so. Okay, Air Gallet's a really loud game, so I'm trying to see if
Alright.
the audio is fine.
Are there any regional differences, by the way?
No,
Between...
no. Actually, there's one in the title screen. The announcer says Air Gallet that's instead of Aku Gallet. That's the
Oh,
one
I see.
difference.
Oh, that makes sense.
But no, gameplay wise,
But
there's nothing.
I mean, both still blow your socks off, so...
They do. I don't know. I tried playing on the European version of this, but I never noticed any differences when I played. It's so just play whichever. It's like the default in MAME for people who want to play this. It's the exact same. I'm gonna 1 second.
Presented by Bon Presto.
Alright, sorry about that. I'll let's see. I might as well just check the dipso settings. Yeah. This game, I mean the normal version is just normal. Is what it will be on when you. Oh wait, it's not showing on the screen. Now you can see it. The default is normal, and you can go like medium hard, hard, very hard, and extra hard. And we'll be playing on extra hard today. This makes bullets a lot faster. I think you'll notice very quickly. Enemies are, well, they're not much tankier, but they're noticeably more tanky. That the route that you have for normal will definitely not work in this. Those are the two main things, and some people who've seen the final boss or the boss will know that this gets ridiculous really quickly. I'm really it's this game. I mean not this game. This mode is incredibly inconsistent. If you die in the wrong spot, you can basically not do anything except chain death. So I think it's good that I have a bit of extra time for this, because I'm probably gonna have to reset once or twice early. No, not No Mist. That used to be Magoma. I'm just gonna forget about it. It's not doesn't really. I just want to play this game for score again. I don't want to play this kind of Kuso game mode, if I'm being honest. Because some of the patterns in this mode are like I like it overall, but it's not really meant to be played this way. And you kind of realize that if you play this a lot. Like you just play the normal version. But
I can definitely see that it's a balancing issue. I think.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
usually the games are balanced for the default difficulty, and they are not for like the easy or the harder ones.
Yeah, I don't want to compare this too much to Hong Kong DP, because it's definitely not nearly as hard. But I imagine you wouldn't want to play Hong Kong for score, right?
No, it's a complete shit game.
Yeah, that's why. That's exactly how I'm feeling.
It's not fun. It's just a core. I hate it.
It's exactly what my opinion of it is as well. Like it's a
not
fun
super hard
novelty.
either.
That's it.
Like even DP Hong Kong, and this will be the last thing I say about this game. It's not as hard as people make it out to be sometimes. Just no one has ever tried, and it's not that difficult. It just sucks. You don't want to play it. Anyway, Air Gallet.
I mean, there isn't too much to say about this game either. I reset, by the way. I hope that the... So I actually don't know how items manipulation works in this game. Sometimes if I reset it gives me the right order, sometimes it just doesn't. I'm basically praying it's good right now. We'll know this right here. If this is the green weapon, yeah, okay. So then this is going to be a good item cycle. Which is what I kind of need that for the first few stages, to know exactly what's where. So in this game, it's not that much more difficult than Sakyo. I'm basically, the reason I'm getting 2,000 points or everything, I'm sitting on top places where medals will spawn, like these or like the diamonds right there, the golden diamonds. Unlike Sakyo, they don't really switch really quickly. You kind of have to wait a long time, because they start at 2,000, then they go back to 50,000 in value, and then all the way back up to 2,000. So this game is, like, getting score in this game is much more about routing than timing. There's nothing really to time, you just need to pick them up at the right time. And picking up all medals, regardless of value in the stage, will give you a 100,000 point bonus at the end.
Oh, and you do get an extra life when you miss 20 medals in a row.
What?
Yeah, doesn't that sound cool? Doesn't make it the game?
Oh, I forgot about that. No, I never do. I was so confused. But that's that's very true. And
I mean,
if you drop multiple of the extents, then you get like a super extent. I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and you lose your multiplier.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a drawback there. I do like the space shuttle. It's pretty cool.
Me too. This was I mean, for some reason, like the stage 1 boss is like quite a difficult boss to put it, even like in normal dip switches. Like it's quite a step up from the stage where there's like 2 bullets on screen at once. This thing actually has like a pattern that I have to explain to everyone who like starts playing this game, like how you're supposed to do it, and even after I try to explain it, they still don't get it. It's kind of, well, it's not the fault of their own. It's just a weird pattern that's kind of hard to understand how it's aimed.
It's somewhat of a wasted opportunity, in my opinion, that they have the space shuttle for boss 1. Would be cooler to have it a like stronger boss in a later stage, because like a space shuttle seems more powerful than a robot to me. I guess that's kind of subjective.
Yeah, I guess this is like stage 4 boss, just a boat with like 2 turrets.
Oh yeah, a boat. Come on, like space shuttle's definitely better than a boat. Probably.
I'd say so. I think they just wanted something really flashy for this first stage.
Yeah.
It definitely is one of the, I guess, more standout visual bosses, if that makes sense. By the way, I'm not even like bothering with timing these. The score, I'm not gonna play this like game for score. It's really, really annoying, and I just want to get the clear. I think most people would appreciate that if I just went for the clear here. It's more interesting for this game if you're playing on hard dip switches. So I'm not even gonna pick those up. I think, yeah. Depending on what the weapon inside there is, I might pick them up, but there's just no reason to at this point.
So when does the game become difficult? Stage 3 onwards, or where does it suddenly become crazy?
Crazy, I would say stage 4, but it already gets kind of difficult in stage 3, if you ask me. Like right now, there's not much that can go wrong, like at this point. Maybe like a few parts that you kind of need to be careful of, but in general, the first few stages are a bit more relaxing. And I used to hate that kind of like in normal dip switches. If you play stage 1 over and over again, it gets really boring because there's basically nothing that can kill you if you even remotely know what you're doing. But in this mode, when you're doing like these squads of like really intense later stages, it's kind of nice to have like a few early stages that don't really, I guess, stress you out all that much. So here I basically killed like an armed turret that shoots homing purple lasers at you. By the way, that's like the most dangerous part of this boss. I like this boss too, only because of the background. Not really the boss itself.
The Tokyo Tower looks so cool. I think Saikyo, well, Video System, rather, they have a history of putting the Tokyo Tower somewhere in the games, and it always looks so cool.
Right. I mean, I remember it in Sonic Wings 2. I haven't played Sonic Wings 3 too much to remember if it's in that game, but
It probably is. I don't even remember myself. Alright, so the game begins here.
I would say after the mid-boss, the game begins. Although this
And
mid-boss...
that's kind of annoying, these filler stages. It's exactly the same, and I know I didn't want to talk about it again, but in DP Hong Kong, it's exactly the same. Like the first few stages, basically the first loop, it's just boring, and then suddenly it becomes unreasonable. And it's the same when you go for like just a survival goal in some games. You do have very boring stages 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe, and then suddenly the game becomes so difficult. And that's also what I really like about scoring. Scoring is fun. That even stage 1 onwards, if it's a good stage 1, can become incredibly challenging and not boring. And yeah, if you just go for no miss or just go for survival-oriented clears, you do have to always like have a routine playing shitty stages. That's where you spend most of your life.
Yeah, this game unfortunately does not have a good stage 1, but even from stage 2 for score, it gets pretty involved. So it's only like 2 minutes of anguish every time you have to reset.
But that's tolerable.
It's tolerable. That's a good way of putting it. Can you die? Okay. Oh, I meant to get the blue bomb. That's whatever. I kind of killed those blue mid planes. I don't know what you call them. They always drop bombs. I kind of killed it late, and I want to get the blue bomb, but now we'll have to dodge actually. We'll have to dodge some stuff.
dodging. Hate that shit.
Yeah, you never want to do it if possible.
Nah. If you see people doing it, you know they're just beginners.
Yeah, or like so good that the execution actually matters to the this
Right.
part.
Or they're playing a difficult game, because some games are difficult and you actually have to dodge. Like this can happen sometimes. Usually it does not.
Right, it did not mean to pick up this weapon, but we can switch right away. One thing
Yeah,
that
the
I
green weapon, it looks really interesting in a way. Like unlike anything I've seen in other games.
it is really unique, and it has use for scoring in the game. It makes some of the milks like laughably easy, because you just sit in the corner and kill stuff with the weapon.
Do the weapons differ in tick points? You have to
Yes,
ever worry
massively,
about that?
massively.
Oh,
The missiles that I'm using right now, they're the best survival weapon, but they give like shit all like tick points compared to the other weapons. It's just too strong, basically. The best weapon for tick points by far is the widespread shot. It's the red weapon. I don't think I have... Well, I actually have it in my route for one specific section, I just remember. For like 2 seconds you're gonna see it. To kill like a... Because it also has the best point blank damage, which will be useful later. Okay, I'm already messing up here.
This looks scary as fuck.
I should have killed the middle turret a lot earlier. Now it's way too low HP. It's gonna do an attack, but I'm gonna bomb it instead. Like, this is not the hard part, but this one, it's just a wall.
Ooh.
You can, if you're really good,
Yeah,
you can
one's
kill
bad.
it before that attack even happens. But I didn't do enough damage.
I guess it's fine to just waste the bomb here.
Absolutely. We're gonna get one back fairly soon. In the early stage, you can be a bit... You can actually use 2 bombs in stage 2 if you would like. You'll get back to 5. 5 the maximum in this game. You get back to 5 fairly easily. And same with stage 3, you can use 2 and you'll be back to 5 rather soon. And then the later stage, you're gonna have to use them more and the game's gonna give less of them as well. So yeah, then it's gonna be a bit more... like not just gonna bomb everything basically. That's an extent, by the way, that item that was just floating there. You get it at 1.5 million points. If you get it like at the end of a boss and you lose control, you basically cannot pick it up also. So
What a troll. I like it.
scariest part of the stage, picking up this bomb. Okay. Oh, these turrets, by the way, these like no, not turrets, the tanks that were like rolling down, they are supposed to do a aimed away at you like a spread, like a, but they never actually shoot away from you. It's really janky how they shoot. So you basically have to keep moving, like that.
Can't
It was
even carry out simple orders.
nope. Also, I am stuck with this weapon for quite a while now, so I'm very
Green. Nice.
yeah. I got greedy. It's basically like programmed in me to get all the, because if you pick up the same bomb again, not same bomb. What? If the same weapon again, you get 2,000 point bonus, which is I mean it's points. You want to get those, right?
And that's a death.
Yep. We're not gonna talk about. Oh, okay. We're gonna reset.
Yeah, that's... We don't have to talk about it. Nope.
I'm not sure anything happened there. What's cool though, if you die 3 times in a row, the game will give you a free credit. I think that's just for like newer players so they can see the ending and the final boss. The final boss sure is something if you've never seen it before.
Well, back to stage 1, I guess.
Yep. I hope you guys like this stage. If you're actually
was
playing this
stage
game,
level.
you'll see this. If you do like, if you do runs of this game, and it's like an hour long, you probably see this game for like this stage for like 25 minutes of it.
Oh god.
But yeah, if I wasn't greedy there with the weapons, well, I wouldn't even have attempted to get the bonus. I can't not do it anymore at this point. Alright, you can die if you want. I'm not even gonna pick those up. Actually, I will. Not a good score.
How long is the game anyway?
25 minutes? Like somewhere below that? It looks... It's definitely less than half an hour. But if you score this game, it goes up to 45 minutes. The stage 5 boss is an 8-minute milk before it times out.
Oh damn. To be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the milking sections in the game. I like the meddling. I do like the visuals. It's a pretty cool game. But the milking, not sure about that. But I mean, at one point, if you like a game so much, and it's just so cool to you, you don't care about stuff like that anymore. You
Not
just do it
really.
anyway because you want to get a good score.
And the stage 5 boss milk, I should say, is not easy at all. Like, it's very involved, those 8 minutes. You're almost relieved when you can go to the next stage. Like, oh, don't have to worry about that anymore.
That sounds better again. I think milking is bad for viewers, but for the players it's not as bad as it seems sometimes.
It definitely isn't.
I mean, some milks are just bad for everyone involved, but some milks, as you say, when they are not easy to do and keep you on your toes, and even if it's 8 minutes, it can be really cool. But for the viewers, it's just boring.
Yeah, that's also why well, one of the reasons I never streamed this game, I did like one score showcase for this game, and I got so many complaints about the milking after that. I was like, okay, I'll never do this again.
Wait, you got like 2 complaints?
I'm sorry?
You got 2 complaints?
Oh, more than that. I can tell you way
Even
more than just 2 complaints.
Are there so many people caring about how long
I think they were just
life
annoyed that I submitted a score run for a scoring marathon, but it's
that's, I don't know, that's silly.
just watch a replay of this on YouTube and then just skip through the boss sections. If you see like 2 minutes of the milk, you're like, okay, I get how this works, and then you skip to the end of it.
The milks and replays I have no problem with, because you can just skip forward. Replying to Morgler in chat. I mean, who's watching Garaga replays and not skipping the stage 3 boss milk?
Yeah, I mean the players are skipping that boss milk, if anything.
Right.
Like, you can just do something else if you want. You can check Twitter. That's a good use of your time.
Yeah. Just get on with your life.
Like, marry someone in those, like, how long is the milk? Like 2 minutes in Grega stage 3?
Yeah. Better call Elvis.
You can play this game in the meantime. How's that for an idea?
Yeah, like stage 1.
Basically. If you always play this game while you're milking the stage 3 boss in Garaga, you'll eventually become a super player at this as well.
Then you just need the pause button.
Yep.
Yeah, see, like the Ibarra milk? It looks really boring on replays, but it's fun to do. Like, I unironically like it.
The stage 2 one?
Yeah, stage 2 when you have the like first of all, it's interesting to get 3 burners, because you have to do a little bit of planning, and then you have to suicide and pick up the right items. So even reaching the final phase of the boss with 3 burners is not completely free. It's interesting to set up, and then the milk itself, you have to at least move around. I mean, it's not difficult in any way. Maybe like activating it. Well, but that's also kind of easy. But it's still more interesting to me than the Garaga milk, where you just stand still. I mean, even for the Garaga milk, when you go like all out, you have to care about hitting the right frame. So I think you have to hit the odd. No, you have to hit the even frames and not the odd frames, and you get a little bit more points. And for some ships, you have to position your options correctly, and that can be finicky as well. You have to find the safe spot. So there's some stuff going on in the background. But yeah, I mean, generally it's pretty boring.
I guess the setup is the most involved part.
Yeah, definitely. And for Ibarra, you have to at least press left, press right, move along. It's like a dance. Can be fun. I've seen worse.
Oh, definitely. I mean, is there any milk worse than the Polestar one that I don't know of? Maybe.
Well, Polestar is pretty involved, I would say, because the double KOs are not free at all, and you have to do a lot of dodging. But of course, it's like it takes forever. And if you get a consistent route down, maybe it's just boring as hell. So there's a reason no one is going for the top score in this game since its release, basically. But there are worse ones. Gemini Wing, for example. I think
I just remembered that one. That's
it's pretty bad, yeah. What was it like? The final boss would time out eventually, but it would take a while. I think it was like a 20-minute timer.
Jesus.
So that's pretty bad, but no one's going for the milk anyway, because the enemies that are appearing there... Oh, it's 30 minutes, just looked it up. And the enemies appearing every 10 seconds or so, and you get a whopping 30 points per enemy. So no one's doing that milk. There's a pretty bad one, or maybe not, in Airbuster. Some dude said it's a 50-minute milk. And then Pearl found out the other day that maybe it's an infinite, but maybe not. We have to confirm that on PCB as well first. Milking an Esperade, replying to Prickly in chat, is actually very challenging and extremely involving as a player. It's very fun to do.
Yeah, that's one of the ones when I first heard about it, I thought, oh, this sucks. But then I actually saw people playing, and I was like, okay, never mind, this is really cool.
Yeah,
even
it's
if
just
it's long,
almost unbearable to watch, but to play, it's really good. I mean, from what I can tell anyway, I'm not an Esperade player, and maybe doing the same boss 1 milk over and over and over again, it can become very tiring. I don't know about that, but it's probably much better than it looks.
Alright, the game's about to get challenging again. Finally.
Oh, nice, we can talk about Air Gallet again. Here we go again.
I'll say though, for most of the game, I actually don't even consciously play it. I'm just like on autopilot, basically. Like
can you do the kill this time?
It's supposed to break now. Okay, maybe.
Can we save that bomb?
Okay, this is pretty early. It's pretty early. I can't stay here for too long.
It's just use it.
Oh! I think I got it. Yep.
Nice. Very good.
You don't get that every day. That's one you need to practice a lot if you want to play it.
Oh, talk about annoying milk. Seeing your name there, Prickly Angler. Let's talk about Darius 2 for a while.
I'll admit I am not the most knowledgeable guy about Darius to like fill me in what's so bad about it.
So there are a couple of milks you can do in Darius 2. And well, some are really bad and some are just bad. But like a couple of bosses don't have any timer. They're just
well,
you basically have a couple of infinites, but some of the infinites are so difficult to do that they're not recognized as true infinites. And other infinites are recognized as true infinites because a human has managed to do it for, I don't know for how long you have to do it in order to be confirmed like a true infinite. Does it have to be 60 minutes or 600 days? I don't know.
You mean 10 hours?
Maybe 10 hours is enough.
It's 60 minutes. That's quite a while if that's the requirement.
Oh, none of the bosses have timers.
What? I didn't even
great.
see that. Okay, well that's fine.
You died.
I died actually.
God,
I didn't even notice
it.
It's also the exact same part again. So it's
By the way, talk about reset timers. You have 27 minutes left. So if you want to go one more,
we'll run this out because this is not a bad part to die.
Right. Sounds good.
I also don't think people would want to watch another. That's what I'm most concerned by. But
no, don't worry about that. We can just talk about whatever. That will be fine.
Die already. Okay, I'm a bit low powered, so there's not as many missiles. It's kind of messing me up. Yeah, I need to
topic of true infinites versus
fake infinites.
Theoretically possible infinites. We also have the original Darius, by the way, there was a sick going around the world and back and not dying. In the first Darius game, the last boss of each zone, I mean, of the final zones, they don't have any timer, so you can theoretically get an infinite there, but no one's been able to do it because it becomes really crazy. So it's not recognized as a true infinite. which is an interesting situation. Which basically means that like the top players are going for very, very long milks. So the final boss becomes as long as the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you make a distinction between, they call it like, in Japanese you have the term yosen, which basically means like a prelude, or like sometimes the first half, but sometimes it means the whole game before the final boss. So the term is used differently for each game. In Garegga, for example, when people talk about yosen, they mean stages 1 to 5, and then the main game, so to say, starts from stages 6 and 7 then.
Mm-hmm.
And in Darius, the yosen is the whole game except the final boss. The final boss is the main game then, so to say. So talk about, maybe you can translate yosen as filler. So the filler would be the stages 1 to 3 in this game, maybe. Just imagine that the whole game is a filler, and then you reach the final boss. Now that's tiring. Oh, and you died.
That's actually
bad.
so embarrassing. I practiced this for so long. Well, okay. Should we do one more reset? You've got the time.
Like you can do one more.
Okay.
You have to know just. Can you get the clear, or is it like out of the question already?
This is insane. If I clear from here on out. Well, also I'm not like 2 power, so nothing.
I don't know. You do have the time, so feel free to restart.
Okay.
We can talk about.
We'll do one more reset. We'll do one more.
Finally, we can see the space shuttle again.
Yeah, I mean that's something I'm sure. I mean, I kind of like the graphics in this game in general. Like it looks a bit monotone, but I love how everything.
It's a nice
looks.
game to look at. Like who's the dev? Is it Bun Presto?
No, it's a company called
Gazelle.
Gazelle who made the Sailor Moon beat 'em up. I think it's the only other thing they're known for. I think they
Bun Presto
ported.
is just the publisher, right?
Yeah.
And Gazelle. All right, gotcha.
Doesn't Bon Presto do like merch or something for? Like I know they're still around because I saw their logo on like a plushie recently. So I know they're still doing things, but I don't know if they're doing games anymore. Oh, I think they did like licensed media properties. They just do like games, shows, or something for it, right? Like they just sell things with licensed property. That's why they have like a Sailor Moon game, right? Like someone just was like, "Oh, you guys can make like a licensed game for us." I think that's what they do.
And beat 'em up, you mean?
Yeah, they beat him up.
That one looks cool. Chum played it really hard. I
Mhm.
think this or last year, kind of recently. I think it was this year probably. Watched tons of it. Pretty cool game. Very tough as well. Also, I've heard.
Yeah, among the other beat 'em up players apparently. Yo, can you?
Yeah, and
die?
guess who got the world record score in this one?
In this game?
No, we're not talking about this game. No,
Oh,
we're talking about Sailor
I
Moon.
have no idea. I don't even know about people.
It is our dude SWY.
Okay, that's I guess I didn't even know he does what like if he did like a lot of non-shmup stuff. Like I know him for shmups the records and stuff. But
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely centered on shmups, but he played some games here and there, some other games, and it's pretty common actually for shmup people to also explore other genres. Some do it more, and just very few are completely focused on shmups. Like you do see a lot of overlap with puzzle games, for example, but puzzle and shmups are quite close. But beat 'em ups again can be good secondary genre.
I think so too.
So what I usually see is that like shmups for many people is the main arcade genre, but when they get bored or when they just need something for a change, they explore other genres. So usually the top scores for other games can be dominated by shmups players as well, because like shmups usually draw in the most dedicated players, and when they play other games, they're just good because they can dedicate themselves to something. And they also have like the eye-hand coordination, stuff like that, like the basic skills you need to be good at video games.
Mm-hmm.
And they can just sit down and grind stuff for years. Those are like the prerequisites, and then the genre doesn't matter that much in the end.
I guess
If
not.
it's something completely different, like fighting games, like versus stuff, then it becomes different, I think. Then you need different skill sets.
Yeah, it was definitely me projecting a little bit, since I know so many people only play shmups, right? So I was like, oh. But I get it. Especially if there's like more like an alive arcade scene, I could imagine myself also playing like other games. But right now I'm just like in my home on emulators playing shmups the whole day. That's one way of spending my life.
Yeah, I mean, I'm basically the same. I just play shmups exclusively. And I mean, it fills me out so much. It's so demanding. Don't need anything else, to be honest. I just want to play Donpachi for the rest of my life. Sometimes it's the only thing I want. I'm not even that much into video games. I don't think they're much fun. Probably a waste of time. But Donpachi is kind of cool.
I mean, I think you're completely right, but I still play them. You don't always have to practice what you preach. Okay, I actually made a mistake here. Let's see how...
Oh no. How bad is it?
Not bad at all. He died. If I killed him too late, would have gone like under the bridge. You couldn't have damaged him. He pops out the other side. There's like a spread attack. You basically want to kill him before he goes under the bridge. That's what you want to do. 10 points. There's a couple of things like that in this game, like where enemies would like go underneath like an aqueduct and you can damage them for a long while behind a building, and then you have to wait before they pop back on screen. Happens a lot in this stage and sometimes in those stages too.
I wanted to ask, how many times have you cleared the extra hard mode yet?
4 times.
4?
Yeah. It's a really high number. I mean... The thing is, when I do attempts now, I try to go for no miss. So I play a lot riskier. I never use bombs. I think if I, honestly, if you just bomb this game a lot, like if you're more used to that, like if you just are RS5 playing, you just use bombs all the time, I don't think this would be actually, like, that much more difficult. But I'm a bit hesitant, because I feel like I should be able to do it without bombs, and then I kind of make mistakes sometimes.
Have you practiced this game before today?
Yes.
For today? Yeah.
Well, just
okay,
once.
perfect.
So.
You got a clear for like a preparation for this?
Stage 6 death.
Oh.
Stage 6, if you die, you can basically give up. You will never recover from that. That's one part where you really cannot mess up. Especially near the end, because there's something so brutal about this game. If you die right before the final boss or during the final boss, the game will not be like pity and give you like power-ups back. If you're lucky, you can get back to level 1. So, and like right before the final boss, there's like a section that's quite difficult, and if you die there, you're lucky if you can get back to level 3 before the final boss out of 5. So that's where you really don't want to mess up. But this game has 6 stages for people who've never seen it before. I know we only got to stage 4 once. Stage 4 is honestly more difficult than stage 5. And then stage 6 is like brutal. It's like a really weird difficulty curve for this game. I think even people who just want to see this game will agree with me. Like, stage 4 is way more difficult than stage 5. Both the boss and the actual stage itself.
I think quite a few games behave like that, to be honest. That sometimes you have like a more difficult stage and then it becomes easier and then harder again. I don't think it's too uncommon.
It might not be, like, but it's quite noticeable in this game, in my opinion. It's gotten to the point where I'm like, did they accidentally reverse the stages? Like, if stage 5 happened after stage 3 and stuff, I think it would honestly just make more sense. Like, if someone swap around the numbers on accident? I don't know. So if I can just get to stage 5, that in itself is like a sigh of relief, if I can do that.
Does this game have any sort of story?
Yes. Although I read about it 3 years ago when I started playing this. So forgive me if I get the details wrong. There's a terrorist group called the Angels of Death, I think was their name. they hijack Tokyo, which is what you see in the. We can show the intro after this game because the game is like an animated. It doesn't have an attract screen. It just has like an animation sequence where you can see the story unfold. They take over like the news station. They come in like an army of fleet taking over. I think it's supposed to be Tokyo, but I have no idea about that. And then we are the anti-terrorist guys who are swooping like. We're getting back the cities that they conquered. I think it's cities all over the world. I'm not sure anymore. Like it's either that, like cities all over the world, and we are slowly one by one getting them back. Because I think that stage 5 is it's like a European stage. You've got like a castle in the background, something like that. And then I don't know how. I don't exactly understand how the final boss or really anything else is connected. I think they just like why do the terrorists have like cyborgs that you see in stage 5? What even is the final boss? They just wanted to. I think they just wanted to draw something cool, and then they kind of made a story around it. Okay, this is going to be bad. Bit low on damage again here.
I mean, I guess the final boss, and you said they're calling themselves Angels of Death or something?
Yeah.
And it looks somewhat of an angel, maybe?
Oh yeah, it's a demon that
connected?
like gropes and kills people with their hair.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that's all really people care about and people talk about when they talk about Air Gallet. It's let's talk about the final boss and how cool it looks like. And I can only agree, it looks really good.
Yeah, that's about where the compliments end for me, to be honest. But no, I actually love this game. I routinely
It's
joke
really
about it because it's really jank in like how aiming works when people like this is one of those games. You learn it by just dying. Like you never think, oh, how am I possibly gonna die to this small tank? And then you die to it, and then oh, I've learned something new. And you have to do that for every enemy basically in the game until you've learned the whole game.
That
Because
sounds amazing.
It looks like nothing looks like it should be able to kill you, and then it just does. And then you're like, oh, okay, I see now. I think I've played like some other games like that, where basically you have to just trial and error it because you don't think you need to route this part until you realize that you actually have to. That's basically what it comes down to. But I've been through that phase before, and if you have actually like learned this game, like you know what to do, it becomes significantly more interesting. It's like it's not an easy game even on default switches in my opinion. It's relatively challenging 1cc is what I'm trying to say. So it never gets boring after stage 1 at least. Stage 1 kind of sucks.
Sounds good.
But I'll shut up about that at this point. I think you guys get the idea. Look, I was even smart enough to keep my weapon this time. So nothing can go wrong at this point anymore, I'm sure.
Yeah, don't pick up the wrong bomb though.
Oh, I already picked up the wrong bomb, but I didn't make a mention of it. Like, I wanted to have... You know what? I didn't feel comfortable, I just bombed. And now I live.
Crazy.
Oh, I'm not screen sharing again. I forgot to do it, I'm so sorry. But, I actually just completely forgot about it.
Again. That's all fine.
I can pause the game in a bit and we'll enable it or something.
No, don't do that. I don't think the lag is too bad. So I'm watching on Twitch and judging from your like keyboard presses and comments, I think I'm just a couple of seconds behind. So just when you clear the game, don't do the celebration 5 seconds too early. So hold in all that emotions.
I don't really pop off anymore like I used to with smart clears. Like I think the happiest I've ever been was like when I got my first one here, and since then it's just been like a downward spiral of like, I guess that was cool. Like I think the first map I cleared was like Katsui. I was so happy, and then I never felt that happiness again.
It's such a sad story, bro.
I don't know. Yo, this is again like the bad setup or whatever. We'll bomb this.
So what setup are you aiming for? This looks good, doesn't
Okay,
it? No?
I am not gonna die now, but when the right part like dies and it comes down, it does an attack that's supposed to be aimed around you, but if you're not in the correct position, the laser will not hit the part and it will drift down the screen again, and you'll be so close that the attack cannot miss basically. Like it will just like hit you right away. I don't want to risk it. Like I basically know the exact pixels that I need to be hitting the laser with against the ship.
Is it pixel perfect?
Okay, just staying alive for that first bit, you've got like a 3 pixel window, but to also lift then after that it's a 2 pixel window. Oh, I'm glad I managed to get that at least. That's like the hardest trick in the game by far.
Pretty cool.
It's very
harder than the last boss.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh.
I don't think it's even comparable, really.
Oh.
I understand if that's not what it may seem, but it really is just that much more difficult, in my opinion, anyway. I expected to die. I didn't have a weapon.
No bombs left, and that's the death.
Yeah, but this is decent. We're gonna enter stage 5.
So isn't low power an issue now?
No.
Oh, just don't talk. Maybe you want to dodge. To be honest, I shouldn't be asking questions.
Also, this is a really fun part. The boss can't aim for some reason. Like I can just sit still here, except for that. Like the top part is a 3-way spread, but the aim bullets don't aim actually. They just don't.
Yeah, that's relatable. Nice.
Yeah, we'll get back to full power, not right away, but we'll get it like in a reasonable time. Or we'll get to like the power level that I need to be to clear the stage.
How quickly can you get back to max power?
Oh, also paying attention.
Oh
okay, no, you need to pick up. This is fine. You need to pick up 25 power up items in total. You can level up 5 times, and you need to pick up 5 power up items. Yeah, it is quite a lot, but the game is. I mean, it's not too shabby with the power-ups. In some stages, sometimes it is. And you only need to be like level 3 to really... Like, then you can manage, basically. Like, you don't need to be at full power.
I see.
Don't worry about that, though. It actually does not matter, I think.
Yeah, I was worrying a bit there. One more life.
Yeah, the only thing that means that I have less, like, wiggle room during the final boss. Okay, I'm noticing a bit of like downsides of not having full power. I won't get red here. This is the only time you'll see this weapon being used.
Insane dodges.
Okay, power up level 4. This is fine, honestly. Red weapon kills these guys. If you've played this game, you'll know how long it takes to kill those. Normally, but red just makes it look easy. And now I'm back at full power.
Thank God. Yeah, the game becomes really scary, to be honest. I can see that many things are just static, but then there are in between like many things that are definitely not static and that you have to react to.
That's a good way of describing how most of the bullet pads in this game work.
Yeah.
This is bad. Doesn't matter, luckily.
Oh my.
You'll see how fast some of the bullets go. They are not this fast in the default game. I don't want people to be like scared of playing this after seeing this. Like the normal game it's really reasonable, I would say. This is I mean that's the whole challenge. I've played the default mode like probably 1,000 times at this point or something.
1,000 times?
No, that's an over-exaggeration, but it definitely is.
Also.
I mean, I've been playing. Let's crank out the math here. I've played this game for close to 3 years now. And probably like when I actually played a lot, I did at least like 10-15 runs a day. So I think it quite quickly adds up. Or maybe it doesn't. Like this kind like I've definitely done stage 1 1,000 times. Let's say that. But maybe the math is wrong here. But it definitely feels like that many. Okay.
Well,
let's not. Nothing happened. I need to miss the final stage anyway.
It's looking pretty good then.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. And what's fun is if you're on your last life in this game, there's like a hidden extent in the last stage that you can just get. If you kill all the 8 orbs in the circle, and then like in the middle, I think a power-up one appears.
Yeah, better get that one.
Like, it's a magic circle. You need to kill like a dwarf and then it gives it to you. I want to kill the left arm here, but the game is not really allowing me.
By the way, there's almost the same hidden extent in Gigawing, the first one, if you don't know about it.
Oh, that's where they got the inspiration from. Well, actually, this game came out before Gigawing, but still, it's the idea that
I
counts.
see. So Gigawing is actually inspired by this one. Interesting. I've heard it was a couple of like the same people behind this game also worked on Gigawing. There was some connection, I remember.
Yeah, like what's his face? Hideki Kamiya. I think he worked on both these games.
Right, yeah. So this the final?
This is the final stage.
Nice.
Honestly, I'm happy that I even got here. That's
pretty good.
It's a
It's not an easy game.
pretty easy to chain death in this game. So. Okay. He felt like shooting for a little bit there.
It also definitely looks like a game that is not very marathon friendly.
No, I kind of knew that going into this. Like, I wanted to get as much time for this as possible. It's
Basically the opposite of Strikers.
yeah, it actually is. Like Strikers, you can kind of learn how to do things consistently. In this game, it's no matter how much I play, it's every time I find a new way to die. If anything, it's like almost interesting. You know what? Okay, I actually thought I had like in the back there. That's
I mean, just get the coin secret extend we were talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
like this.
If you didn't notice, the game gave me a credit there because I died so quickly. It's really nice this game
Oh,
to do
these
that.
hangers, by the way, make sure to kill them because there will otherwise be a penalty TLB. So yeah.
Yeah, you don't normally see those. I think even experienced play or like new players will just kill these guys quickly. But it's a really nice troll for when you
Yeah.
for like the
I
people.
mean,
who-
it's almost impossible to miss these hangers. I cannot really fathom how one would miss them, ever. So Mogler is asking a very important question. I'm reading it for you.
Okay.
Meriscan, is the rumor that you have a 40 millisecond reaction time true?
No, that's my old reaction. It's down to 30 now.
Oh. Well,
I
GG.
bought a gamer monitor, and then
Nice.
that solved a lot of issues. But yeah, I can do like 300 clicks per second, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I can hear that.
But don't make a mistake, the rank in this mode doesn't decrease when you die. So this is how it would look like, even in... Oh, the game really lags, I don't know. Look, in normal mode you do decrease rank when you die, in this mode they don't give a shit. It's max the whole time.
Nice going around there.
You can do that for like a surprising amount of the game, just going around stuff by... Or like avoiding getting killed by just like going around the whole screen.
Oh, here's another tip. A gamer chair will reduce it to 20 milliseconds, so it can improve your reaction time from 30 to 10.
I'll
mean,
sell
just-
my organs to get one of those. That's sounds like a good
Buy
idea.
that chair, man. You're gonna get the minus milliseconds soon.
Like, I think I'll run like a crypto rock ball to get the funds to buy a gamer chair. Seems like a good idea.
Yeah, that sounds epic. And here we go for the Fallen Angel.
Yep. Yeah, I think the name of the terrorist group is supposed to be related to this, but okay, I have no idea how this game works.
Every time I see that line of bullets, it looks so silly.
Yeah, in the normal
What will it
version
be?
of this game, you don't go around like what I do. You just go between the bullets.
This
That's-
looks so insane. And it still cannot aim.
No, it cannot. Nothing in this game can aim. Actually, there's a heavy bias for aim things to go towards the center of the screen. Like with almost everything in this game. Now, it's not like noticeable with everything. Oh, that's a bit bomb. The bomb ran out early.
Oh my.
I actually thought I could like no miss this part. Okay, now because it doesn't, the rank doesn't go down except for when the
Well, did you just say the rank wouldn't go down?
no, it doesn't for okay.
But
There's two ranks. One that's
Oh, I see.
determined by your power level, and one that's determined by like survival. The survival one
Alright.
stays the same. The one that's like with the power, that one does decrease.
Wait, you saved it right there.
But I had like max power earlier, so that's why I said this is max rank, because it was max rank back then when I had full power.
Thing.
This is gonna take forever, by the way. When you don't have a lot of strength for this, like a lot of power, this fight takes quite a long time. I can probably dodge between these. Okay, never mind. Who cares at this point? There's a trick for this phase, by the way, for anybody who wants to learn some useful tips about this game. I can sit here for a little bit.
Then you die.
And you die.
Interesting. Well, especially new players will probably appreciate that.
Okay, how is he not dead yet? This is getting frustrating.
Oh,
let me show
GG.
you this. Oh, we're overtime. We're overtime. Fuck. I wanted to show the final boss
no.
how you're supposed to do it.
1 minute late.
No, it actually isn't too difficult. I was just joking there. But I thought, oh, I can show the real final boss after this. But then I realized, no, I can't. We have to switch. Let me get the... I'm sorry, M. Night. We'll get this going. This is...
Oh, pretty cool one.
I'm
coming
gonna
up.
get the redemption for this. Like, that was fucking awful. We'll next time, or next Ultramania, if Gus will allow it, I'll do this again and I'll fucking own this game. This is that's a promise. I've done it. I've already cleared this twice on stream, so I don't know why this is giving me trouble now. I think a bit of stress. Well, no more coping, no more coping. We'll send it to M. Night if he is live. Let me check. And if he wants to be raided, okay. M. Night, I'm gonna just make sure I can raid him before I send you guys off. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the Strikers run. That's as much as I'll say about this. I asked the Knight for if he's ready for me to raid him. Yeah, quite a bit embarrassing there at the end, but I think I I don't know what people think. Like I find I had a lot of fun playing this at least. Like even like it's very intensive and involved the whole way through. Let me check if he's ready to go. Okay. Well, he's still typing. M. Knight is typing. He says he's ready, but I'm gonna send you over. Oh, the link that was in the schedule is not correct. There's supposed to be underscores between M. Knight and Jewel. So I was about to send you to the wrong channel, but at least now I make sure. Yeah, this is correct. Yeah. Yeah, in the I accidentally picked the Orago link, which I think the underscores just make the text italic. That's weird. I'm not real. I was checking for the profile picture. That's correct. I'll send you over right now. Thanks for watching. They make this, and have fun watching Chaos Field Expanded. I'm looking forward to it. See you.